Brandon Lewis here with the 10Con Big 7 Weekend Update, the 7 biggest stories coming out of Tennessee politics that conservatives care about, and you will not see these in the mainstream media. Constitutional amendment giving Tennesseans the right to deny vaccine and other medical treatment passes House subcommittee. Tennessee RINOs sponsor bill creating exceptions to abortion ban as Tennessee GOP Senator Briggs teams up with Planned Parenthood. You can't make this stuff up. Tennessee parental medical freedom bill sent to summer study, essentially killed, because God knows, why would we want parents to make decisions in homeschooling or with their medical freedom for their kids? Bipartisan bill to strengthen ethics laws in Tennessee fails in House subcommittee. This is an amazing admission on behalf of the establishment that something is rotten in Denmark. We'll get into it. Bill creating grant program for agricultural easements passes in Senate, one that folks are rather worried about, and a few alternative stories, bonuses, if you will. Protests continue as illegal immigration bill allowing Tennessee school districts to refuse illegal alien students, or at least funding them, passes in House committee, and twice deported illegal alien indicted in Antioch shooting. Guys, if you are not on our newsletter list, go there now, TennesseeConservativeNews.com. Hit that subscribe button if you feel inclined to support our work as Tennessee's largest and, in my opinion, only conservative news alternative that cannot be bought, cannot be bossed because of your support. Go to TennesseeConservativeNews.com/support or send in your support to P.O. Box 625, Signal Mountain, Tennessee 37377. As an update, I just wanted to say thank you for everyone who has helped us. We are, right now, a little bit better than we were this time last year. We started out about a month ago, and we were 33% down, but I put out the clarion call, and fortunately, many of you got up off the couch, found your wallets, and made a contribution. For those of you who listen to this and you've never given, please do give. I talked to a gentleman the other day. I can't even remember where because I see so many folks. And he said, well, you finally got to me, and I donated. And I was like, well, great. Now do it for other conservative candidates and causes. Now do it more frequently. Guys, we will never win this fight if our treasure is not in the Constitution, if it's not in conservatism, if it's in just consumerism. Christians in particular and conservatives have to give financially and with their time. Also, if you want to subscribe, you can text 423-205-5600 with the word news. That is, text news to 423-205-5600. And of course, subscribe, follow wherever you hear this podcast, YouTube, Gab Getter, Truth, MeWe, Rumble, you name it. We're on there. Okay. Constitutional amendment giving Tennesseans the right to deny vaccines and other medical treatments passes in House committee. It's amazing that this has been almost a 5-year fight, but here we are. A resolution amending Article 1 of the Tennessee Constitution to state that a person must not be compelled to undergo a medical treatment, even in the case of a declared emergency, especially when the declared emergency, like it was here in Tennessee, was fake and fraudulent, passes the Health Subcommittee by a 5-3 vote this week. Representative Tom Leatherwood voted with the Democrats. He's got a good track record of doing that against House Joint Resolution 28, and Republican Brian Terry marked himself as present but not voting, which is the coward's way out. Constitutional amendments must pass through 2 consecutive General Assemblies, first by a majority vote and then a 2/3 vote. The amendment would then be placed on the ballot for the next gubernatorial election. That's a good news. That's one I can support. Tennessee RINOs sponsor a bill creating exceptions to abortion ban. It's the usual suspects. Esther Helton Haynes, who's a big kind of anti-pro-life for the GOP side, and Richard Briggs, who never met a Planned Parenthood staffer that he couldn't get on stage with, from Knoxville, have partnered to sponsor legislation that would create more exceptions to the abortions ban in Tennessee, directly conflicting with the current pro-life law. This bill would allow physicians to perform abortions involving lethal fetal anomalies and would remove the liability from committing the offense of criminal abortion. So I have a big problem with this. You know, we went in, I can recall, when Sylvia was in utero, She's big now. She's big now, but she was very small then. She was in utero. She's a live human being that God created, and she's been just such a blessing to me and her mother. And she had what looked like some kind of bad uh, kidney anomaly. Well, and of course, as time went on, she just developed normally. And I think we've got lots of situations here where doctors are trying to peer in to the womb through various methods that are not the same as letting the birth go to full term. And I think this would probably snuff out a lot of lives or give unscrupulous medical practitioners, the ones who have been killing babies in Tennessee for a long time previously, the ability to do it. And so I am not for it. Now, the good news is this bill has picked up 2 Democrat co-sponsors, which you might imagine, and 1 Republican in Mark White, who's not conservative at all and also needs to be replaced. Senator Briggs says that the abortion ban is flawed, and he's just the guy to fix it. I don't buy it. Next story. Senator Briggs, good old Briggs, you can count on him, teams up with Planned Parenthood. Republican Richard Briggs will be featured speaker at a Protecting Women and Productive Health event in conjunction with retired OBGYN and representative from Tennessee Advocates for Planned Parenthood. Only in Tennessee, where people, I swear, they act like they're the most conservative people when they're running for office, and the next thing you know, they're up on the stage with Planned Parenthood. And if you look at the Knoxville League of Women Voters, it's scheduled for March 26th at the Tennessee Valley Unitarian Universalist Church, which is always scripturally aligned, right? You know, with Black Lives Matters, and there are 3,000 genders. You know, the people that corrupt the scriptures, probably, you know, one of the best at doing that, at reading the Bible with a Sharpie instead of a highlighter. And so who do we have? One attendee, Jennifer Ward, is a, quote, expert in organizational equity and diversity initiatives in nonprofit health sectors. Pat Bellengraith, another who RSVP'd, is the founder and leader of Conversations on Race, etc. So it is your typical group of liberals, far left liberals, and then Senator Briggs right there in the middle, happy to be sharing the platform with them. Guys, do go to TennesseeConservativeNews.com, hit that support button. It is my intention, if we can cobble together some additional money once Adelia gets out of the session, that's taking up a lot of our discretionary income, what little there is at the Tennessee Conservative. I would like to do subscriber acquisition campaigns, but they are expensive, they require setup, and you have to spend money. And if we can reach more people in Tennessee, and if more conservatives actually knew that their government was quite different than what it looks like right before Election Day when they get the campaign collateral, I think we would have a more conservative Tennessee. So go to TennesseeConservativeNews.com/support or mail your checks to P.O. Box 625, Signal Mountain, Tennessee 37377. That is P.O. Box 625, Signal Mountain, Tennessee 37377. I did not read the mailbag. I should have. I left it in the office. But I'll do it next week, guys. I appreciate all of you who have sent stuff in. It has been amazing to see the outpouring of support. Once I let y'all know that we need to get off the couch, need to get off the wallet and chip in so that we can keep doing what we're doing. This will be our 5th year anniversary in October, and I want to finish strong. If you give $50 or more, a recurring donation of $10 or more, you get a Proud Tennessee Conservative tumbler. We'll send you a koozie, a couple of bumper stickers, my heartfelt thanks, and a directory of all of your Republican elected officials so that you can communicate with them as they continue, in many cases, to trounce upon the Tennessee Constitution. Next story. Tennessee Parental Medical Freedom Bill sent to summer study. It's the same way as saying killed. A parental medical freedom bill has been sent to summer study after a unanimous vote of 8 Republicans and 2 Democrats in the House Population Health Subcommittee, essentially killing it. The bill, sponsored by Representative Susan Lynn, takes a stance for parental medical freedom by removing Tennessee's requirements that parents vaccinate their children according to the recommended CDC schedule. We wonder why there's like this huge rise in autism. We wonder why kids have so many issues and allergies and things of that nature. Maybe because we're injecting them over and over again with a bunch of heavy metals and toxic chemicals, and it's just more than the human body can take. But Big Pharma has a huge, huge stranglehold on the GOP side of the General Assembly, on both chambers, and in the governor's office. And so that's why you keep seeing uh, a a program by the GOP that is far more about profits than the health of their constituents, and certainly more concerned about the money coming into their campaign coffers than your freedom or your good health. So this thing got sent to summer study, which is kind of like a death sentence, although occasionally they do revive and come back, and we'll see if that happens. Next story. Bipartisan bill to strengthen ethics law in Tennessee fails in House subcommittee. A bipartisan piece of legislation intended to strengthen the state's ethics law failed in the House Public Service Committee, and this, to me, just tells you everything you need to know. Republicans Jeff Burkhart, Rick Eldridge, and Iris Rudder voted against the legislation. Representative Todd Warner and Democrat Gabby Salinas voted in favor of it. What would this thing be? That we have a very conservative, outspoken person in Todd Warner and a Democrat, Gabby Salinas. Like, what could they have in common? Well, here it is. It is an act that specifically defines an impermissible direct gift or indirect gift given to a candidate for public office, and also certain officials that family members includes those, they're lobbyists, basically. This is the same thing they brought up at the beginning of the legislative session, and that is we shouldn't have people in GOP leadership whose spouses, family members are lobbyists. You know, it's completely illegal for a corporation to just hand a politician money. Now, they can fund their campaigns, and that's usually enough to purchase most politicians several times over. Yeah, they will leave their constituents in the dust for campaign cash all day long. But it's even worse when the corporation hands the money to the spouse of the elected official, and then that money goes in their back pocket legally, while both the member and the lobbyist spouse or family member are working for typically large, not very conservative corporate interests. It's really unethical. Most states don't allow this. Why they continue to allow it in Tennessee, I do not know. The legislation also sought to require both the governor and officers of the governor's cabinet to disclose certain expenses related to travel. Not a lot of transparency wanted up there in Cordell Hall because there's too much money to be made at your expense. Bill creating grant program for agricultural easements passes in Senate. On Thursday morning, a bill that creates a grant program for agricultural easements in Tennessee passed the Senate floor by a 27-4 vote. It was sponsored by Jack Johnson and has been flagged by conservative grassroots groups like Tennessee Stands as a bad bill. Republican Senators Janice Bowling and Mark Pody were the only Republicans who voted against it. According to the bill, it establishes a fund for the development and implementation of programs that benefit Tennesseans by preserving farmland and forest land, including a grant program for conservation easements. While this legislation may initially come across as benign effort to promote conservation across the state, Tennessee Stands has deemed it to be a dangerous shift towards state-facilitated control over private property under the guise of conservation. So I'm all for it, and I just don't like the government getting into any more than what they're already in. They don't manage what they have presently very well. I mean, the largest apparatus under their control is education in Tennessee, and we know where that's going. Not very good. I'm not going to belabor that point because I've got an interview coming up that we'll be putting out, and I've spoken on this very topic recently. Homeschool parents, pay attention. Pay attention. They don't want you to have control over your kids' education, but we've got to wrest it back for you and our kids because we can't count on the government to educate them. We already know what their track record is. Next story. Alternate stories. We're going to end with a couple of illegal immigration doozies. Protests continue as illegal immigration bill allowing Tennessee school districts to refuse students passes in House subcommittee. Essentially, what this says is that your local school does not have to pay for illegal aliens to be in it, right? If the illegal aliens want to come to the school, then they can simply pay tuition, okay? It's no different than if an out-of-state student wanted to come here or if somebody from some other country wanted to come here. You can't participate unless you're a citizen. Common sense. And so groups of people with the Tennessee Immigrant and Refugee Rights Coalition, and it's funny, you will see all the corporate broadsheets, radio stations, TV stations, they cover every illegal alien advocacy protest, but they never covered any of ours where citizens are like, we need to turn off the magnets for education, employment, mass transportation, and welfare. They never cover that because they want illegal immigration, the news sources that you see most, other than us, they want to see illegal immigration continue and flourish. and that's why they cover it like this. And so these crowds have been filling the committee rooms, being very vocal. Shelby County Schools, of course, like the bastion of academic achievement, or rather the armpit, I should say, brought approximately 65 students to Nashville on Tuesday. I'm sure that was great. And that's what we need. We need government employees taking kids out of school to come protest so that more illegal aliens can be funneled into already failing government schools. That's what we need. House bill sponsored by William Lambert authorizes LEAs and public charter schools to refuse to enroll students who are unlawfully present. Republican Representatives Gino Bolso, Kirk Haston, Aaron Mabry, Lee Reeves, and William Slater voted in favor of it, but Mark White from Memphis joined the Democrats in voting against it because Mark White is not a conservative. Twice deported illegal alien indicted in Antioch shooting. A 36-year-old illegal alien from Mexico stands accused of shooting a man in front of his 7-year-old daughter in Antioch, Tennessee, and has been federally charged by the U.S. Attorney General with possession of ammunition by an illegal alien and unlawful entry into the U.S. The unsealed indictment reports show that the man was drinking heavily in an Antioch house and engaged in an argument with the victim that spilled outside, where he shot the victim several times before running away. This guy's been arrested before, as you might expect. So I'm glad that we're making progress in cleaning this up in Tennessee, however slow and laborious it may be. That's it, guys. Listen, I appreciate all of you. It has been a fun ride the last few weeks, being at the Tennessee Stands event, being at the Hamilton County Republican Party reorganization. I've got stuff coming up. It is my plan to do a supporter appreciation get-together sometime this summer. It's about the only time I can do it because my winter is so busy. It's when I really earn my living and I have to mind the store, both at the Tennessee Conservative and the Painters Academy. But it slows down for OBL going into the spring and summer and early fall. So I'm going to try to get all our Tennessee Conservative subscribers together for a supporter appreciation shindig. It should be fun. We'll keep it informal. So I'm brainstorming that right now, so keep an eye out for that. And also, if you're thinking about running for office, I'm going to be conducting a Conservative Candidates Academy, and it'll be not too long. It's in the planning and in the works, because we need to get more candidates running in these GOP primaries. We need more candidates running for SEC positions so that we can have a more conservative TN GOP overall, and county reorganizations. And guess what? We have a proven process for defeating the establishment and incumbents or liberal challengers. And if people follow the process and if folks will apply themselves, you have a great chance of winning. If you ignore the rules, you have a great chance of losing. And I don't like to see conservatives lose. You can still win, even if you're underfunded, even if everybody in the establishment pushes for the RINO, it can still be done. I've seen it happen right here in my backyard 2 times in the last 6 months, and I think we're going to keep going in that direction. What's going on this weekend? Well, tonight, Sylvia has a little shindig she's going to, has a dance, because we know that kids that are in homeschool are never socialized in any way, shape, and form, and they turn out to be deviant. But instead, she's going to a dance, and so Mama and I are taking our youngest out, Ruby, for a little date, just us and her. Now, last night we played Monopoly. It's a long game. It's still laid out on the table. I don't know if I'll win. I went bankrupt last time. The kids beat me and my wife beat me, and that may happen again. That's okay. I'm a good sport. I'm a good sport when it comes to board games. Hopefully Saturday. I think this will be the first Saturday in a long time that I'll get to just be at home, which is what I enjoy. We'll go to church in the evening. I don't know what Sunday holds. Hopefully nothing. I need a nothing weekend from time to time, and I'm sure you do too. So that's what's going on this weekend. I'm going to go, hopefully, maybe if I can get down to the sports barn on Sunday, that would be a great time away. So I have very simple needs. I need to work out. I need to be outdoors, hang out with some friends every once in a while to recharge the batteries and be with fellow believers so I can get my compass pointed in the right direction. I'll close with this, guys. It's a slog doing this. It really is. And I'm sure many of you are in your own slogs in your own counties and your own organizations. It is so difficult to continually and constantly stand up for the truth, to defend the party platform, and it costs you something when you speak the truth. People that get paid are typically not representing the whole solid truth. But folks that have to pay tend to be the only ones that are. And it costs you politically, it costs you personally, it costs you financially. But we got to hang in there, right? I don't think that we are called to win, but I do think we are called to try. And I'm going to keep trying as long as you are behind me. And if you support our work at TennesseeConservativeNews.com/support, we can do more, we can do it faster, and we can do it more effectively. Guys, love you, mean it. Talk to you next week. Brandon Lewis here with the 10 Con Big 7, signing out.